Good evening, everybody. So this is the first video of FOM 2 for neuro. So this block is going to involve a lot of anatomy, it seems like. And from what I've seen with, or heard from second years and seen so far, we are going to be very busy this block. So hopefully you find these videos helpful and we'll get started. So first thing I want to do is open up Anki. For those of you who are starting out FOM 2 with Anki fresh, please watch the video I posted. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. Anyways, over the weekend, it shows you my settings and everything. But in case you missed that or don't want to watch that, you can always just check here, pause here. These are the settings I use and that I recommend to get you through studying without having to do cards super often, aka like in 15 or 30 minutes again after you got it right. But we'll jump right into browse today. And I'm going to minimize my cards here so you can you can see here what we're going to be unlocking. And so I activated cards from first day today, as well as Blue Link. And so you can find those links on that guide video I posted this weekend as well to download those decks. But we're going to go over the anatomy of the skull first. So that just did not turn out how I wanted it. There we go. Anyways, so this one in the cranial cavity, venous sinus, and brain. So as you can see, there's a lot of cards here, and we did not get all of them today. But I went through and I just activated them today, just to get it over with. So what I did is I activated everything in here. And you can see that I didn't activate some. The ones that I have deactivated are the color-coded ones. And if you watch my previous videos, that's just my personal preference to not activate the color-coded ones. I don't prefer it for studying anatomy. I think it just kind of messes me up. I prefer the real anatomy because that's what we're going to see on the practicals. So that's the way I'm testing myself and learning right now. So that's my preference. But otherwise, you could probably activate all of this. And it is a lot of cards. It's about 200 cards. So that'll keep you busy for a couple days. But that's anatomy for the cranial cavity, the venous sinuses, and the brain. So it's a lot. It's not just today's, it's probably throughout the week. So any head cranial anatomy we get, probably not going to have to activate more. Just going to say that there is still more to activate. You got your infratemporal fossa, so there's still a lot of anatomy still yet to come for gross anatomy. But for now, I just activated that all, get it in my rotation, get it over with. If you do not want to do that, you can spend the time to go through here for gross anatomy, but I just said, let's dive right into it, because especially with the brain down here, this is key for one of the lectures we had today, and I just said, why not? I got to learn it sometime, so let's start now. But that is it for Blue Ink. And then you're going to come up to first aid, and then I just stayed in neuro and special senses. And the reason I did that is on the first meeting we had today at 8 a.m., they said to not use outside sources such as Amboss, B&B, and etc. And I just wanted to touch on the fact that I do use first aid, and people that know me know that I have a first aid textbook, and I really enjoy having the extra resources. But what I'm doing is not what they said not to do in the video. Is I'm not using those as my textbooks and my source of like material and learning objectives. I'm just using it as a supplement to what their learning objectives are. So what I did was I went through the lectures this morning and found cards that match the content that was presented to us and that match the learning objectives. So that's what I did using the first aid textbook. I have not ventured into B&B, Amboss, any of that, because that's more pathology, and I found plenty of cards I thought to at least get the ball rolling. But I always recommend reviewing on your own time, making practice questions, doing whiteboard work, group study, whatever works for you. But we'll get started in first aid, come down to neuro and special senses, embryology. We're going to go right into neural development, activate all that. You need all of that. and then we're going to go into number 2, and you're going to activate all that as well. And it looks fairly different, but if you're looking at the cards here on the right, it's like, what are the adult derivatives of the wall of the metaencephalon? And that's the pons and the cerebellum. And she did go over that and kind of what stuff leads into. There was a specific diagram on that, so it's fairly important. And then we're going to go here. Let me break this down for you. So the basics, both of them, adrenal gland, none of them. We did not talk about that. Central nervous system. Let me squeeze this over for you so that way you can see, because I did realize the numbers do not match up with everyone's decks, because if you downloaded them in different ways or made your own cards, everyone's numbers are different. So here's the terms for you. And if you have your sort field like this, it should be the same order, just different numbers. So these are the cards that you want from this category. Meninges, all of them. Peripheral nervous system, the first two. I mean, you can have the third one. I know it. Maybe I'll activate it. Why not? There, all of them. And then the last one is neural tube defects. And yes, we do have to know them. It's in the learning objectives. So I put these 4 from the basics. I try not to deviate from what she presented. So like it's very minor stuff. I mean, we don't need to know with like encephaly is associated with type 1 diabetes and mothers. Like these are a little extreme. So these are just kind of the cards you need. This one is not activated. And spina bifida, basics, both of them. Not that one, not those ones, not that one. And just the first one and the third one are what match what was presented to us. I felt most accurately. Again, I'm not perfect, but that's what I thought fit best. And then that is it in embryology. Then we're going to come down to anatomy and physiology, and this is where most of the stuff was. So as you can see, there is a lot here, but we're going to skip a bunch of this because this was ISOM and FOM 1. So we're just going to come down to meninges, and I did all of them except for this one. I did not find leptomeninges in our lecture. If I missed that and it was mentioned, please let me know in the comments or text me or catch me in the hallway. But otherwise, all of them except for this card. And then we're going to move down to 22. And yes, some of this stuff was touched on, but like this is really getting into the details of it, which we did not go over. We just went like, this is the thalamus in anatomy, and this is the hypothalamus. So we'll get into functions and physiology more later, I think. 22, I want to break that down, and we're going to go to clinical. And I just have these 3 because these are the sulcus lines that she was referring to. And these ones kind of different terms. So this is the lateral fissure, according to this card, but it is the lateral sulcus. And then the parietal occipital sulcus is what she termed like the transverse sulcus, I believe. Just kind of testing your mind though, getting the idea of it. And then I would try to use her terms more if possible. And you can even change and edit the card here. So you can change and edit the card right here. And then identification. This is one where you can go through here and activate them if you want. I felt like I had activated enough cards. And what I say by that is there's a couple like, let me get down here. Like here, the calcarean sulcus, the central sulcus, lateral sulcus. It's just kind of repeat cards, but if you want them, they're kind of down here in the bottom for the ones you might want. But that is it for that section. And then we're going to jump down to 27. 27, just do the first 3 for now. We don't need to go in here and get into the nitty gritty of the drainage. We didn't quite go over that much, just these first 3 for now. And then you're going to jump down to skip the ventricular. This one is activated from 27. So we're going to go straight to 29 and 30. And there are a lot of cards here. So we're going to break that down. Anatomy and blood supply. These first 3. None in here. This is just more ID work, which you can use if you want. But like you are going to be like IDing this. So it's kind of gross anatomy-esque. And I think I'm going to rely on the gross anatomy from Blue Link versus this to start. But just to let you know, this is here if you want to explore this. Brain or spinal level, brain stem levels. None of these, I mean, these two, I did not come down and activate these. These are from something else. So, yeah, that's from something else. So you should be okay. But otherwise, you can just run down here and activate those if you would like. Reticular formation, none. Rules of 4, none. I know one of our lectures, they did refer to a rules of 4. This is a different rules of 4. Just to let you know, it's not the same rules of 4. And then we're going to move on out of that, and we're going to go into cranial nerve nuclei. And this we do have to know. And so for these ones, all of them except the first 4 and number 6, just because he didn't describe the location of this cranial nerve nuclei as like medially or laterally. I don't know. I don't like the way these cards are worded. Maybe it's because it's late at night and I'm tired, but maybe I might come back and activate them later. So if you like them, activate them. If not, I think you're probably okay. These ones didn't activate any of these. That's just taking the trigeminal nerve nuclei to a confusing place. Then we're going to go to 32 and clinical. I did all of them. This is all correct. I double checked this. This is going over all the little holes and foramens and nooks and crannies that the cranial nerves pass through. So, and this matches what is in the slides and what we have to know. And then identification, that is identifying all those holes, nooks and crannies that those nerves pass through. So I went for them. So these are more of the ID pictures. So it's just like a supplement to anatomy. I enjoy anatomy. If you want to just rely on gross anatomy, you don't have to activate these, but they are there if you find them helpful. And then we get to the good one, the cranial nerves. So we went through quite a few today, and I'm just going to hover over them. So olfactory nerve, cranial nerve 1, we did all of that. Cranial nerve 2, optic nerve, all of it. Oculomotor, did not do all of it. So I just want you to take a minute and pause here. The first one is activated. But make sure yours line up, because a lot of this we don't have to know, like the angle of how the eye has to move to isolate a certain muscle movement. We don't need to know that, or at least not yet. So just trying to save you some extra work. So you don't need all of this. Just take a minute, pause. We're going to go to trochlear nerve. So the first 4, second to last one, that is it. 5, this is a trigeminal. Just skip these 4 here because, yeah, we don't have to know pathology and stuff yet. You could activate maybe some of these pathophysiology because he did touch on some, but this wasn't quite what matched up in the lecture, unless I made a mistake. But I don't think it fit very well. Anyway, so the abducens, all of them except these 3. Again, this is some pathophysiology that didn't match quite what he had, so I left it out. We did not do 7. We skipped over 7 today. We went to the vestibulocochlear, or vestibulocochlear. Wow. All of those. 9, we did not go over. 10, we did not go over. 11, we did. Hit that all. 12, hit that all. And that is it. That is all of the cards for today. So hopefully a short video. Good luck studying. And again, I just want to reiterate that I wouldn't rely solely on B&B and AMBOSS and all these other ones to study. Use these resources as a supplement. That's what I do. Do not rely on them to pass the tests. I just supplement them, get my brain working in the mornings, and really recycle all the knowledge that we do have to know. Because what I did over conference week, except for one day, is I just kept going with the cards. So good luck in FOM 2, everyone, and wish you the best of luck. And I do have a guest appearance today. It's from someone who just wants to say a few motivational words.
Wow, you guys, good job. You made it to the end of the video. I know that was hard. Good job. I just wanted to tell all of you that each and every one of you, all of you, your existence is important in the world today and tomorrow and the day after. Okay, I love you. Bye.